So like this one, you know, is clearly, I haven't separated all of these, but clearly this one is really weird. But look, there's the embryo right there. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. Today we're gonna show you, it's not so exciting, it's kind of the bummer side of being a breeder, but the good news is it's not the worst thing that can happen, but it's still a bummer. So this is our laying rack, so you guys might be able to kind of guess what's going on here, but we got some slugs being laid. There's this female right down here. Actually, we're just gonna open it a little bit more so you guys can kind of see what's going on. She's still trying to work them out a little bit, but she's definitely come to a stop. She hasn't laid anything for, it's been a number of hours, and she hasn't really been pushing for a while. So she could just be taking a little break, which is fine, or she's just not feeling the need to get them out right now, which is a possibility. So anyways, this is part of TSK's Snowflake project for the red albinos. So the Snowflake is just a name that I keyed up. It's not necessarily a morph, but it's just bred for that high white patterning. And so anyways, it's a project that we've been working on. It's pretty cool. And she's one of our really nice ones actually, but she's a young female. This was her first year. And we used a new male, and it was his first year, and neither of them were brood-mated, so, you know, I wasn't, you know, super confident on anything, and there were no confirmed breedings. The male kind of didn't even really show interest in this girl, and that might be because we just missed her window entirely. It's a possibility. But anyways, as you can see, she's just slugging out pretty much, so I think there's, what, 10 slugs in here? Yeah, I think I see 10. So there's 10 slugs, but she has a few more in her still. So what we're going to do here is just leave her alone. We're just going to give her some more time. She'll most likely just pop these out on her own over the next couple days, and it shouldn't be a big deal. The good news is all of them have worked down towards the end. So the first one pretty much is like here somewhere, but that's the last one she needs to get out. But then there might be 2 more or so. So I'm guessing there's like 3 to 4 more. If I picked her up and felt her, I could probably tell you exactly, but I'm just going to leave her alone. She started slugging out yesterday, last night sometime, and so slugs don't always move as easy, I think, through the oviduct, and so I think it's just taking a little bit longer for her. For whatever reason, I just don't think slugs come out as nicely as good eggs do. And there's probably some cool science behind that, and my dad might actually be able to explain that better because it's something I've heard from him. So anyways, so that was a real bummer. For mom and dad, obviously, but we also had something that was kind of a bummer, and it's back here. So so this girl, you guys, this is so dumb. So this chick over here, you little bum, so this is our young axanthic patternless, and as you guys can see, there's slugs all over her cage because, sorry, and she started throwing slugs before she even shed. She just shed yesterday and decided to kick out a bunch of slugs before that. And so I'm pretty sure that she's actually all clear now. I think she got all the slugs out. There was only a handful, so I think there was 7 maybe. So it's possible there's more. I haven't actually felt her too much yet. But she's a really young female. We did do a short brumation on this girl, but the male that was put in here was being bred to like 3 females. She was the 3rd one, and we just totally missed her window is what happened. So hopefully the male did get the other 2. He's a good proven breeder, and he was brood-mated and everything, but I think we just, the stars didn't align on this one, which was a real bummer because it would have been nice to get good babies out of her. The great news is that she still has great weight on her. She looks great, and everything else looks good. As long as she gets them all out, then there shouldn't be any issues. So this is actually potentially something I would consider trying to breed again for this season for a double clutch, because colubrids can double clutch. I don't generally do that with pits. We do that with like king snakes and whatnot, but with the pits I usually don't do that because it does take a lot out of them. However, I had a bunch last year that decided to double clutch on their own, which was a surprise to say the least. But anyways, So it's possible I might try that with this girl and just see if maybe we could still get good eggs out of her, because she didn't lose a lot of weight. She's still very healthy. I'm sure she'll honestly eat a rat next week when we offer it to her. So we'll see. Trying to decide. But since she's really young, we might just leave it alone. Me and Spencer just kind of need to talk it over still. So anyways, but that was a real bummer. So we did have good eggs this morning though, that we didn't show for a special reason. It was a special project, so we'll post about it, but we're not gonna show you anything yet. So anyways, but we do have another clutch being laid right now, and it's this girl that you guys can kind of probably see. We're trying to just leave her alone though, but she still has 2 more eggs in her. I don't think it's focusing super well there, but anyway, she has 2 more eggs that she's working on pushing out. She's had a long labor, it seems like. So she's a proven female though. This is her 3rd. It was probably at least her 3rd year, 2nd or 3rd year producing. And so she's laid eggs with no problems really in the past, but she has 2 more in her that she's really taking her time to work out. So it could just be that she's very tired, taking longer to get these last 2 out. Could be that they're not as good, but I mean, she's still moving. She's definitely still working on it. Keep seeing her tail move. Hopefully her vent will be opening soon. Actually, she'll be able to push that one that's right down there by the vent out. Yeah, she's moving a lot right now.
That's good.
Yeah, I know. So she should be able to work these out. But
these last 2, like you said, might be slugs, is why they're taking longer, because they're harder to pass.
I think the most recent one, which is kind of close to her tail right here, it looks like not very good. It's not at least all the way calcified. It might still be a fertile egg, but it looks more like a slug to me. But again, I haven't really opened it and looked super close yet, because I've wanted to leave her alone so that she can just take her time and work them out. But hopefully this will be a good clutch from her though. This is actually bred by that same male to that axanthic patternless that just slugged out. So this was the same male that we used here. So, but there's definitely fertile looking eggs in that clutch. So hopefully, she has a pretty good pile back there. I haven't even really counted, but I mean, there's at least a dozen back there, I think, that are good. So hopefully, hopefully it's good. But we'll just keep giving her time, her space. We're going to put the paper back up so she gets nice blackout shades, and we'll just leave her be. So hopefully that'll get worked out. Hopefully the snowflake will work her stuff out. And, we keep taking, the good with the bad too. Because there's always, things that don't always work out the way you want. But anyways, overall it's still been a really good start to the year. We're excited. And I don't know, hopefully we just get more good clutches. Alright guys, so it's been a couple hours. We actually came back right before we're about to leave for the day. And that axanthic patternless white side is actually done. She worked those last few out. So we're going to go ahead and take her out and take a look. Man, yeah, her eggs look funky. Got lots of brown spots on them. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, where's that from?
I have no idea. I don't know. But I guess we'll see how they turn out.
1 slug.
Yeah, there's at least the 1 slug, which I think that's the one we saw earlier. But then this was another one that she had just popped out, and one of those at the back. So
She's pretty.
yeah. Alright, I'm gonna take a couple pictures. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get her taken out, and then we'll take a look at these eggs. And she's gonna be a little grumpy, but yeah. Alright, okay. All empty though. So we'll get her foot back. Alright, so these eggs really do look really weird. But if I remember right, her clutch last year, like some of her eggs looked really weird too. But they still ended up hatching, so I don't know why they look have black spots on them, but we'll see if they still hatch out okay. I mean, they're like calcified, so they just have black spots.
Looks like bruises.
Yeah, I don't really know. Never really seen very many like this before like that, so. But anyway, we'll go ahead and check them and see if they're fertile, and we'll go from there. Okay, so got them all out. Now we get to see what it looks like in here. Well, there's definitely an embryo in that. Oh my, that's such a weird spot for the embryo. The embryo in this one is up here on the top. It's a weird spot. So, this one has one too. And that one, that's one of those ones that has a big brown spot. Not the biggest brown spot. Let's look at this one. So like this one, you know, is clearly, I haven't separated all of these, but clearly this one is really weird. But look, there's the embryo right there. So it obviously has good embryos, but the eggs themselves just, and this is just a guess, I don't know, but it's like Spencer said before, they almost look like bruises. I wonder if like some of these eggs like sat in like the birth canal for super long. Because she did take forever to push these out. I don't know. I don't know if that actually happens or not, but like there's definitely like red, like blood, it almost looks like, that's around it. So, interesting. All right, cool. Well, the good news is that all of these look fertile, and my son is right behind me looking at the snakes, so he's running around. That's why we're a little distracted for the end of this video. But anyways, these do look really good. I'm gonna go ahead and get these put away. Let's just do a quick count, I guess. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 17. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa! Yes. Okay, come on.
Say hi.
Alright, so it looks okay. It looks like our final count was 17 good eggs and then 1 slug. So we'll count the rest of them, but it looks like 17 should be fertile, and we'll get these put away. That's a great clutch from that girl. Pretty excited about that. Glad she finally got them all out. She just must have been absolutely exhausted. But that's why we just left her alone. She took her time. It seriously did take her all day to just put out 3 eggs, but she got them all out, so happy about that. Anyways, that ended on a good note after all, so we're happy to see it. But thank you for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.